Hey students, Mr. Mulcairn here. We are on the home stretch. We have numbers 17 through 20 to go. For these ones, we have two problems that have to do with percent error and two problems that have to do with simple interest. So I'm going to get started right away. The first one, number 17, has to do with percent error. And let's mark this up. I thought 70 people would turn up to the concert, but in fact, 80 did. Calculate the percent error. So my prediction was 70 people. But in reality, in fact, 80 did. But what actually happened, the actual number of people, was 80. Now, I want to find the percent error. This is very similar to what we just did with percent change. But we have to understand a little bit of terminology here. The most important thing, two important things. The amount of error is the difference between the two numbers. And then the actual amount refers to what was the actual number that we got. So we made a prediction and that was wrong. So the actual amount is, in reality, what actually happened. What was the number that we actually got? So if we take a look at our percent error graphic organizer, again, you can see it resembles the percent change, but there are some important differences. But let's start by finding the difference. So if I go here again, my big number is 80, my small number is 70. So in the big number box, I'll put my 80 minus my small number, which was 70. And I'm going to use my calculator again, just to be safe, even though I know we can do this in our head. 80 minus 70 equals 10. So our difference is 10. I then take this number, the difference, I put 10 right here. So the difference divided by the actual number, what actually happened, equals our percent error. So I'm going to put my 10 in here. I'm going to go back to the problem just to double check. All right, I made a prediction. That was 70. But then isn't what happened. What actually happened is that 80 people came. So the actual number is 80. So I have 10 divided by 80 equals, and that's going to give me the percent error. So again, I'm going to go to my calculator, clear it out. 10 divided by 80 equals 0.125. So my percent error as a decimal is 0.125. Now, you know we have to convert this decimal to a percent by moving the decimal point 2 spaces to the right. When I do that, I end up with 12.5%. So my percent error is 12.5. I'm going to go back, answer my question. I made a little mess with my highlighter, but I think we'll just have to live with that. Maybe not. Can I delete that? There, I got rid of that. All right. So the percent error is 12.5%. 12.5%. That's number 17. All right, let's take a look at number 18, which is also a percent error problem. I'm going to use my highlighter. They forecast 20 millimeters of rain, but we really got 25 millimeters. Calculate the percent error. So we predicted that there was going to be 20 millimeters of rain, but we actually got 25. So that is an error. We made a prediction that was wrong. So we're going to, again, use the percent error organizer in order to solve this problem. And we start by finding the difference. So the big number minus the small number. My big number was 25. My smaller number was 20. I'll use my calculator to check. 25 minus 20 equals 5. So the difference between the prediction and the actual number was 5. Now I take the difference and I bring it down into this part of the organizer where it says difference again. Put my 5, and the difference divided by the actual number equals the percent error. Well, let's go ahead and double check the question. So we predicted 20 millimeters, but we really got 25. That means we actually got 25. So the actual number is 25. 5 divided by 25 is going to equal our percent error. So let's use the calculator again. 5 divided by 25 equals 0.2. Let's type that here. We know we have to convert 0.2 to a percent by moving the decimal 2 spaces to the right. When I do that, I get 20%. So my percent error is 20%. I'm going to go back to the review, to the study guide, and the percent error is 20%. All right. So those are our 2% error problems in the study guide. And last but not least, we have our simple interest problems. So number 19 and 20 are both related to simple interest. And we have a different organizer to help us with this. There's a formula for simple interest. That's interest equals principal times rate times term or time. And we represent the term or the time in the number of years. So let's take a look here. I put $400 in the bank with an 8% interest rate. What will my balance be after 1 year? So let's see. I'm going to highlight $400. That's my principal. That's the amount of money that we start with. I'm also going to highlight 8% because that is my rate. So that's my R, my rate. And then finally, I have 1 year. So 1 year is my term or my time. So that's the T is going to be a 1. So let's go ahead and look at our simple interest organizer. And let's fill in these boxes now that we pulled it apart. So the principal was $400. The rate was 8%. And the time was 1 year. Now the rate, we have to always change to a decimal. So 8% written as a decimal, I convert it by jumping 2 spaces to the left with the decimal point. So 8% as a decimal is 0.08. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert my numbers into the formula. So P principal is 400, rate is 0.08, and time is 1 year. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator in order to figure out how much interest is paid. So 400 times 0.08 times 1 equals 32. So when I go back here, the amount of interest paid is $32. Now, I'm not totally done yet because the question doesn't ask how much interest I paid. It asked, what will my balance be after 1 year? So the balance is going to equal my principal plus my interest. So let's make this into a color we can see. So balance equals 400, which was my principal, plus 32. 400 plus 32 equals, and again, I know we can do this in our head, but let's double check with our calculator. 400 plus 32 equals $432. So I earned interest in my bank account. I made $32 just by letting my money sit in a bank account at 8% interest. So my total balance after 1 year is $432. Let's put our answer here. The balance is $432. I can't forget my dollar sign. Balance is $432. So there's the answer to number 19. Number 20 is very similar, just some different numbers. So let's mark it up. I put $250 in the bank with the 3% interest rate. What will my balance be after 1 year? So let's see. I'm going to highlight $250 because that's my principal. I'm going to highlight 3% because that's my rate. And I'm going to highlight 1 year because that's my term or my time. So let's take these numbers and plug them into our graphic organizer. My principal was $250. My rate, let me look back. I forget what my rate was. My rate was 3%. And you remember, we have to write our 3%. We have to convert that to a decimal by moving the decimal point 2 spaces to the left. So 3% as a decimal is 0.03. And my time was 1 year, which is 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and transfer these numbers into my equation. So P was 250 times R is 0.03 times time is 1. So 250 times 0.03 times 1 is going to equal the interest that paid. So let's use our calculator. 250 times 0.03 times 1 equals 7.5. So the interest paid is $7.5, but that's not how we usually talk about money. We would say that we have $7.50. So that's the interest that I paid. Again, just like in the last problem, though, it didn't just ask us for the interest we paid. It asked us, what is the balance? How much money will be in the account after a year? So in order to find that, we have to add the interest that was earned, that was paid to us, to the principal. So the balance equals 250 plus $7.50. Again, let's be safe. Let's use our calculator. 250 plus 7.50, $7.50 equals $257.5. Again, we don't usually talk about money this way. We don't usually say I have 257 and 5/10 dollars. We say $257.50. So the balance is $257.50. I'm going to go ahead to my study guide, and the balance is $257.50. All right, that was number 20. I don't see any more problems. So we are finished. Again, this is so important. I know I keep repeating this. Please be sure that this gets finished tonight. It needs to be finished before tomorrow morning in order to be prepared for the test and also to do test corrections if you're unhappy with your test grade. If this is not completed and you're unhappy with your test grade, you are going to be stuck. You're not going to be able to make corrections. So please put forth the effort to get yourself ready for this. I know you can do really well with it. If you have any questions, you can send me an email directly. All right, work hard and have a good day. Bye now.